Hi, I'm Shelley Wilson. I am a multi-genre author of over 20 books and a writing mentor. Welcome to the Campervan Writer Show. Two of the biggest questions I get asked all the time are, how do I start writing and why isn't my book selling? And the first one I can help, no problem at all. The second one is a little tricky when I ask them what social media the platforms they're on and they say, oh, I don't like social media. I don't have a website. I don't have a blog. I don't have a subscriber list. When you don't have any kind of author platform, how on earth do you expect your readers to find you? Having some sort of platform is so important, and this is something I talk about with my writing clients right from the very, very start of their journey. Even before they've put pen to paper, I want them to think about who their ideal reader is. So we build a reader avatar with them, find out where their readers are hanging out depending on what genre the book is. So for example, they're writing a business book and they're predominantly their readers would be on LinkedIn. So that is the platform they need to focus on. And I can get them to share their entire journey as they're writing, why they want to write the book, what they're hoping to include in it, if it's going to inspire, motivate, educate or entertain their readers. They can start those conversations going straight away before they've even started writing their book. And that's really important because what they're doing is they're pulling their readers along on the journey with them. And the reader feels involved. So when it comes to launch day, they're going to go, oh, I've followed this journey. I have to get a copy of that book. So building your author platform, start now. That's the best advice I can give you. If you haven't already started, then pick one or two areas to start with today and get going. And I'm going to share my favourite top tips with you now. So an author platform, what does that include? It can include one or more of the following. It'd be a social media presence on whichever social media platform you either prefer using or your ideal reader will be on. It might include a website with a blog. It might include a newsletter, which I would highly recommend having a subscriber list. It would hopefully include some sort of networking, whether that's in person or online. Memberships, think about the memberships that you're in as well. I'm in the RNA, which is the Romantic Novelists Association. So we have chapters and we have online forums and conferences and all sorts where I get to go and meet up with fellow authors and just talk about everything that we need to talk about with people who get it and understand it, and that can be really, really good. But authors do also read other authors, so they are potentially your readers as well. So here are my 3 top tips for you. Tip number 1, start with your story. Why are you writing this book? Why is it so important to you? What do you want to share and what are the readers going to get out of it? This isn't a sales pitch. This isn't you saying buy my book or pre-order my book now. This is about you getting people to understand your priorities, your strategies, your behind the scenes stories. It's a really key part of building your author platform. And this would be done through a blog post. It might be done through a TikTok video. It might be done through a podcast just like this one, or a simple social media post. Tip number 2, choose one main platform and do it really, really well. So where are your audience hanging out? We've already mentioned LinkedIn if you're writing a business book. What about if you were writing children's? That's a little bit different because you're writing for one audience but you're selling for another. So you would think about the age of the parents and where they would be hanging out. And that might be on Facebook, for example. That might be on Instagram. So hang out there, talk about your writing, talk about your book, even maybe share illustrations if it is a children's book. If you're writing YA, which is young adult, you might prefer to be on TikTok or Instagram. Think about it from a visual point of view. That's what a lot of the younger generations prefer, those visual cues. So can you be doing little videos? Can you be talking about other books in your genre? Book Talk is huge, absolutely huge, with so many amazing talkers sharing their favourite books, their favourite genres, why it's their favourite, annotating books. They're doing so much. You could tap into that. You could be part of that as well. because you can factor in your own book as and when the time arises. So that's my second tip. Tip number 3 is to mix connection with promotion. So never shy away from selling yourself and your books. But what we want to do is engage and connect with our readers first before we try and sell them anything. You might want to try value tips, those behind the scenes, where your character inspiration comes from. I know I've spoken about buying a cardboard cutout of Chris Evans, who's Captain America, because he was the inspiration for my main character in my romance, and he comes everywhere with me, all my book events, all my book fairs, all my networking events, I bring him along. Is there something quirky that you could create as part of your character behind the scenes that you can share as a value tip for your readers? Second one is to think about connecting with personal stories. How much of your own personal story do you want to share? Are you willing to share? Sometimes it can be quite vulnerable sharing. I get that. I have my own challenge story. Sometimes I talk about it quite openly. Sometimes I don't need to. I don't need to bring it up. I don't need to refer to it. But there are certain situations, especially when I'm doing maybe a talk on self-help or memoir, where it makes sense to talk about it, and it helps me connect with the reader as well. So get comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. Connection is really, really important. If you can connect with your readers, then they're going to carry you along and come with you as you write this book and hopefully many more in the future as well. And then the final one is obviously your promo. Don't be afraid of selling your book or yourself. How you do this is up to you. It can be really funky. You can think of different ways to share on all of your author platforms. You can do giveaways, for example. You can do, I know I did once on Facebook, I did a competition where it was name a character after or name yourself after a character, and that went really, really well. The engagement was off the Richter scale. It was just a really, really good way of bringing people into my world. People were tagging their friends and all sorts of things. So think outside the box when it comes to sales. Don't just go buy my book, here's the link. Think about how you can entice people into your world and make them stay for the other bits as well. Your author platform is the bridge between you and the readers, and it's really, really important. I mentioned earlier about newsletters and having a subscriber list. So if social media disappeared tomorrow, then how would you contact your readers? How would they know, where you were? How would they find out what your latest book is? You want to build something that you own and that you have access to and that people willingly sign up for. And being a newsletter subscriber is the best way forward. You can offer them something free. That might be a sample chapter. It might be a poster, some fan art or something. It might be a free meditation if you're writing a self-help book, or colouring pages if you're doing a children's book. There's so many different things that you can offer as a lead magnet. And what that means is you're giving something away for free to get them onto your sales funnel. They then come into your CRM system, which is your customer relation manager system. So that might be MailChimp, it might be MailerLite, it might be Funnel Sketchers, whatever it might be. And you've then captured their email address. So you can get in touch with them as often as you want. And what I would say is I'd specify how often you're going to connect with them. So I send out a weekly newsletter. Everyone knows that when they sign up. So they know that every Friday they're going to get a newsletter from me. They expect it. And they read it, and I also put in a question of the week, and I encourage them to hit reply and answer so that we've got that engagement going as well. But I own that newsletter list, that subscriber list. So if my Facebook page disappeared, if my LinkedIn was washed out, I know I can still get hold of my clients and my readers through my newsletters. So think about setting up a subscriber list now, right at the beginning. It doesn't matter if you've got 10 or 100 or 1,000 people on that list. It just means that you're growing and you can take time. Everything takes time. I think we're all so built for quick fixes that we just automatically assume that everything's got to be done today and tomorrow and then we're off and running. I've been at this 11 years. It's taken me a long time to build up my readership, to get a following, to get people engaging, and it's going to continue to grow because I'm going to put as much as I can into building my platform to be even stronger than it already is. So these are some tips that you can use. Think about just one platform doing it really, really well taking your time, start with your stories, connecting with your stories and your own life and behind the scenes things and elements as well, and sell. Remember to sell at some point, even if it's 1 post out of 7 that you do on your social media where you're talking about selling something or selling your book. So hopefully that's helped you. But if you've got any other top tips about building an author platform, then do please drop it into the comments. If you've got any questions about author platforms, also drop that into the comments as well. I'm absolutely happy to help. And I know that it's a huge topic, so maybe this is something I can break down and do in future seasons and talk more about newsletters, for example, and what you can put in them, or social media content, and how to break down your book writing process, your character arcs, whatever that might be, into social media posts as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. In the meantime, I would love you to subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes. Happy writing.